what's good, Commanders fans? Just wanted to do some studs and duds and just give a quick update on Terry McLaurin after their injury from last night. Ian Rappaport came out. He just tweeted good news out of the MRI for Terry McLaurin. Sources say there's optimism for week one for Terry McLaurin. More day today than anything, with the scans showing no major injury. So that is good news. He did earlier say this morning, he tweeted out, is believed to be dealing with a toe sprain based on the initial diagnosis. Sources say the injury from last night's game, also known as turf toe, is not thought to be overly serious, but he'll have an MRI today to determine the full extent. So it looks like he could be ready for week one. I would not sit him for week one. I think I would try to play him. I know the Cardinals are an inferior team. They're not a good team, but I'm not sleeping on the Cardinals. I think we need to blow them out that first game. I think we need to make a statement. Of course, our first home game with new ownership under Josh Harris. Just anyway, I think we need to go out, start out with a fast start anyway. We need to make a statement kind of start in that first game. But if he really is ready to go, I would play him. But if it's a little dicey, then of course you do have to consider sitting him out for week one, since it is a lesser team. But like I said, you can't sleep on anybody. We just can't. We can't sleep on anybody. We can't take anybody lightly. I don't care if it's the Cardinals or not. We can't take anybody lightly. So just looking at some of what the doctors said, some of the fantasy football doctors, they're talking about, turf toe. They said wide receivers tend to miss 3 to 4 weeks. It depends on the severity and the grade of his turf toe. Justin Jefferson missed a couple weeks in 2022. Pierre Garçon missed a good amount of weeks, good amount of games with turf toe back in 2012. Lavernius Coles had turf toe. He missed a couple games. So it depends on the grade and the grade of the injury. Grade 1 injuries typically take a week or two to heal before a patient returns to play as tolerated. Antonio Gibson, he missed a few games with turf toe in that 2020 season, but he was back and ready for the playoffs against the Buccaneers. But he just didn't look the same after his turf toe. And they grade 2 injuries. The typical recovery time is 4 to 6 weeks. The patient may require taping when they return to play as tolerated. Taping for these injuries, once the swelling has abated in the acute phase, should focus on resistant hyperextension of the MTB joint. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just reading up on some stuff that I saw online. So I just wish Terry a speedy recovery, and that is good news. It is not a severe injury, so it looks like he could be ready for week one, and that would be huge for Sam Howell. Sam. But the good thing is that we have a great group of receivers. So if Terry does miss a game or two, Jahan is legit. He looks like he could potentially be a wide receiver one in this league, or a 1,000-yard receiver in this league. And then Diami's looking better, and you got Curtis, who's a darn good number 2 or number 3 wide receiver. So we have a deep wide receiving core. So I'm not tripping if Terry, we have guys that can pick up the slack. That's all I'm going to say if Terry's not ready for week one. So I would definitely take it cautiously with Terry for sure. All right, I want to get to these Ravens fans just crying so darn much, man, over a freaking preseason game. Like, y'all lost the game. Y'all mad because we wanted to get more practice reps in when the second game of the season is the dress rehearsal game. We played our starters in the first half just because you wanted to set on Lamar Jackson, who's been in the league for, 5-6 years now, which I respect. I'm not mad at you got them sitting their starters, but the way their Ravens fans and even their media, even their journalists, their beat reporters have just been crying so much that we celebrated beating them and ending their streak. We won a football game. We're happy that we won a football. It is preseason. Who cares? But the fact that they're crying so much, and then a lot of Ravens fans, they celebrated when Devin Duvernay came from behind and threw Emmanuel Forbes to the ground, and when Mark Andrews threw down Danny Johnson, they're crying over what Nick Gates did. It's just ridiculous. Like, I did not know Ravens fans whined and cried this much. It's really ridiculous. Now I really do hope that we beat them every time in preseason, or every time we play them. But now I just did not know Ravens fans were that whiny and crying over a preseason game. We're talking about preseason, not a real game, but preseason. And that shows that they really did care about this streak. So they really did care. They say that they don't care, but they really cared about it. They're crying so much on social media. We didn't play our defensive starters at all either. And Lano didn't play. So we didn't play a lot of guys. Our whole D-line didn't play. Our corners didn't play. A lot of our safeties didn't play. A lot of our guys sat on defense as well. And the second game is a dress rehearsal game. So should they have played the whole first half is questionable. But the whole first quarter for the starters, for sure, they definitely should have played. All right, that's all I got to say about these whiny, crying Ravens fans. It's ridiculous. It really is. All right, studs and duds here. So we'll go with the obvious one, Sam Howell, man. The 3rd and 15 pass to Cole Turner was beautiful. The one where he evaded the rush and extended the play and passed it to Jahan Dotson, that was a beautiful play. The 4th and 3 to Jahan Dotson, that was beautiful as well. The touchdown pass to Gibson was a beautiful play. Just multiple beautiful plays from Sam Howell. The touchdown pass to De'Ami Brown was awesome. The only thing I would complain about is that he needs to work on is holding on the ball too much, but that's part of his game because he likes to improvise and make something happen, make something shake out there. But he did hold on to the ball a little too long. He got sacked twice. But it was an A+ game from Sam Howell. He was so cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. What was his numbers again? 9 for 25, 188 yards, 123.4 quarterback rating. He found Terry multiple times, and he had a great 2-minute drill where he led the team down for a touchdown. And he found Terry multiple times over the middle of the field, found Cole Turner. He spread the wealth, tried to get De'Ami Brown involved, hit Curtis Samuel. So everybody ate, man. He hit the checkdowns when he needed to, fed the ball to, gave a couple passes to Gibson, a pass to Brian Robinson as well. So he hit the checkdowns when he needed to, man. And he's a guy where I'm not concerned if it's 3rd and 10 anymore. If it's 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 12, I'm like, hey, we have a fighter, we have a puncher's chance to convert on this 3rd down. Where in the past, where it's 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 12, I'm like, yeah, we might as well just run the ball or punt the ball and just let our defense set us up for success and just play the battle of field position. But Sam, he's shown in 2 weeks in a row where he can convert a 4th and 3 and convert a 3rd and long, and he can run for a 1st down as well. He ran for a 1st down too. So I love everything that I'm seeing from Sam. Yes, it was against backups. Yes, it was against 3rd-string guys, 4th-string guys that may not even make the roster. And their secondary is kind of depleted anyway, the Ravens, because Marlon Humphrey is hurt. But he did a darn good job. I love everything he saw. And the thing is, the flip side is I see a lot of Giants fans and Eagles fans saying, oh, it was against backups, 3rd-string guys. Eagles fans were celebrating when they beat Garrett Gilbert 2 years ago when we had the COVID stuff with Heineke and Kyle Allen. They weren't able to play. They were celebrating when they beat us 56-14. When we had Milo Eifler, who didn't have a picture on Sunday Night Football. We had our 3rd-string, 2nd-string practice squad guys that we just signed off the streets, and they were going crazy because they beat us 56-14. So I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that at all. So I'm happy to see the progression from Sam Howell. And Jacoby Brissett, he struggled against these backups. He did. He struggled. So Sam Howell did his thing, and who cares what the competition is as long as you go out there and do what you're supposed to do. So I'm happy with what Sam Howell did against the 2nd and 3rd-string guys. All right, so we're going to quickly go through studs and duds here. Obviously, Jahan was a stud, 4 catches for 76 yards. De'Ami Brown was a stud with a touchdown catch. He broke a couple tackles as well. Antonio Gibson with a nice touchdown catch. The offensive line, I got to give them their credit. Now, I do have a couple of PFF grades. Shout out to Mason Kinahan. Once again, I was on his podcast, so you guys make sure you guys check him out. I was not able to get the full list of the PFF grades here, but I'm going to pull up a couple of PFF grades. The highest graded guy was Jake Fromm, and I thought he did a good job on that last drive. A lot of guys let him down, like Mitchell Tinsley, Curtis Hodges had a drop. Curtis Hodges had a couple drops, but Jake Fromm, he did a good job on that last drive. I liked what I saw. If Mitchell Tinsley catches that football, then you have an easy field goal attempt, or maybe even stays upright and walks into the end zone, honestly. So I thought Jake Fromm did a good job. Joey Sly, I got to give him his credit, man. I've been tough on Joey Sly, and apparently he won the competition. He hit a 49-yarder. He hit a couple of big kicks, and he put up that L sign to the Ravens so to make them cry even more, which I love. Michael Malady, the punter, I'll give special teams some more love. Michael Malady, that was a heck of a punt to pin them in there. Like behind the 5-yard line. I want to say that they still even score. That's how bad our defense was last night. But Michael Malady made a nice punt. So we have a guy that maybe they can keep on the practice squad, or if they release him, if he's still available, then you might want to sign him. I'm not going to whoop Tresh way. If his back injury flares up again, you have somebody that you can call Michael Malady to step in as a punter. Andre Jones, I thought he made a good play in the backfield on the goal line. He's been standing out. I think he's going to make the roster over KJ Henry. Eric Bieniemy, once again, I thought he had a good week with the play calling, using Antonio Gibson as a wide receiver, using guys in space. You look at the spacing on the field, he's scheming guys open, so I thought he did a good job of that. I thought he's set up Sam Howell for success, for sure. Who else? Emmanuel Forbes had a nice tackle on the 3rd and 1. Other than, him kind of getting, I'm not going to say he got cooked by Zay Flowers, but, he was playing soft coverage, and Zay Flowers got an easy 1st down on him in the beginning of the game. Terry McLaurin had a couple catches, 3 catches for about 38, 39 yards. Thought he played well. Once again, the offensive line. Jared Patterson, man. I think if he doesn't make the roster, man, I wish him the best, man. I think he'll be on the practice squad. He never gets poached from other teams, but I really think he can help another team. I really do. I think he deserves to get real meaningful snaps in the league, and just here with us. Of course, Brian Robinson's going to get a lot of carries. Gibson's going to get a lot of carries, and they love Chris Rodriguez because they drafted him. Eric Bieniemy drafted him in the 6th round. So I just don't see a place for Jared Patterson on the roster, even though I think he needs to play. Jonathan Williams is not bad either. He had a really nice block as well where he pile drive somebody. But Jared he needs to be on a roster where he plays, where he gets snaps and legitimately gets carries and gets used legitimately in the offense. So I hope Jared Patterson definitely gets some play, whether it's with the Commanders or somewhere else. But him putting that juke move and still had his face mask grab, that was like an and one in basketball where you still get a touchdown. You still finish at the basket, finish at the rim. So that's how tough Jared Patterson was last night. I love that catch and run, making a guy miss in the phone booth. All right, Duds, I already talked about Curtis Hodges, just dropping passes left and right. He was awful. You're 6'8", you're just too tall to not jump up and get that. That was really bad. And Jake Fromm did a good job of escaping the pocket and making a play there. So he wasted a good Jake Fromm play. Mitchell Tinsley, I'm still a big Mitchell Tinsley fan, but just the drops really, really hurt the team. And we still were able to score a field goal, but we could have scored a lot easier if he would have caught at least one of them. Chris Rodriguez with the fumble. He still ran the ball hard, but the fumble hurts. And he did fumble a couple times in college. I said I would look this up. I'm going to look up his stats real quick because I know he had a year where he had a fumbling problem. And that was the thing about him. I'm going to look that up real quick. Just bear with me here. So these stats are not showing me that I just pulled up. But I'm going to find it, man, because he had a couple fumbles one year, which is not good at all. But hopefully he can clean that up. But he came back in and redeemed himself a little bit. Rashad Wildgoose was getting cooked left and right. He had a pass interference, then he gave up a touchdown. Josh Johnson was just picking on him in the first quarter. And then Quan Martin, even though he did get the interception, he whiffed really bad on some tackles. He missed Josh Johnson on a run. And then the touchdown, he did not tackle. The attempt to tackle Zay Flowers was just poor. It was a bad attempt at tackling. So Quan Martin, he did get the interception. That was a nice run after catch. It was a nice catch on the interception, but still he has to be a better tackler than what he's shown so far. So honestly, he's kind of had a disappointing preseason so far over the two games, but I still think he's going to be a good player and a good rotational player and provides a lot of positional flex there. So that's about it. I will be on Rio Robinson's channel tonight with Street Scores and Louis T at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you guys check me out on that. That should be a lot of fun. Hello, Commanders. Peace.